Hello. We're back. And today, folks, I'm going to be telling you about something, man. I think all of you have heard this song. Arise, Ghana youth, for your country. The nation demands your devotion. I have a not too good voice, but take it like that, eh? Arise, Ghana youth, for your country. The nation demands your devotion. I want to spend just a little bit of time on this because, I'm so hopeful. Every time I come here, I say, Ghana will rise again. There are times when I even say, Ghana is rising again. But I've been doing some thinking, folks. I've been doing some thinkings, and I think I want to amend it a little bit. Yeah, Ghana will rise again. But unfortunately, not in my lifetime. Show me some love, man. Unfortunately, not in my lifetime. But let me begin the way I always begin before I come back to the youth of Ghana. The way I begin all the time is that we tell the truth and that the chips fall where they may. So even to the Ghana youth, you listen to me, I'm going to tell you the truth and the chips will fall where they may. And I say all the time that truth crushed to earth shall rise again. And maybe today I'm also understanding certain truths that are rising again. We'll see. And I said all the time that Jandam will be crushed or suffocated with the truth. And I'm beginning to realize that that will not stop Jandam. It will keep rising. And the extent to which we crush with the truth is also in debate now. And finally, every time I ask, what time is it? And hopefully your answer is the same. It's nation time. It's nation time. So folks, let's begin the show today, man. You know me, I'm very bullish about this country. I'm very, very optimistic about this country. But I've also been thinking a lot about this dear country of ours. Now, one, let me apologize for a mistake that I always make. Because every time I come here and I'm talking about Ghana, I talk about building the nation. And every time I talk about building the nation, I apologize today to say that I'm so focused on the political party system and how we can build a nation regardless. But in my thinking, then I realized some of the pillars for building this nation I haven't touched on. Two pillars I haven't touched on. Number one, Ghana youth. Solid pillar. If there's going to be any future for this country, if there's going to be any hope in the future of for this country, it's going to depend on the youth. And I realized I haven't even taken time to concentrate on the youth. Another thing I haven't concentrated on, which I'll do very soon, is health. But let's start with the youth, folks. And I hear this anthem, and it's a very anthem that day. I'm sorry I can't sing it, but I rise, Ghana youth, for your country. This nation demands your attention. And it's a very nice song. But really, what is the impact of this song to the youth of Ghana? The first problem we have, number one, is who is the youth of Ghana? How do we define who constitutes the youth of Ghana? I'll tell you something funny. Somebody wrote to me for a job, and he started the application. He says, "Dear sir, I am a boy of 32 years old, and I'd like to..." I just shifted the letter away. A boy of 32 years? People are 28, 27, 25, they have established companies. You are 29, and you're saying, I'm a boy of 29 years. But it reminded me of something. The mentality of our youth. We don't even have the right assessments of ourselves. When you read the National Youth Policy there to define something like the UN regards the youth as anybody from the age of 15 to 42, must be the 42-year youth. You must be dizzy. No. For me, when I talk about the youth, I'm talking about the active age of from about 16, topmost, 36. Beyond that, you are a full-grown man or woman, and you're supposed to think and act like a grown man or woman. But I'm saying this because we see ourselves, you cry if you say, oh, youth. And because of that mentality, we are not able to process growth. The reason I'm saying this, folks, is that every time I talk about Ghana shall rise again, I say that in the belief that the youth will rise up. If there's going to be any impact on Ghana, it will have to come from a youth that is mentally alert, from a youth that is determined, and from the youth that have sworn devotion to this country. What you see is thousands of our youth crossing the desert, crossing a river, doing things at their own peril, just so they can get to Europe and go and wash dishes. Very sad. Now, I'm saying, if you're talking to a youth like this, do you think that to get them to sing an anthem that the nation demands your devotion, so pay attention to the nation? No. The only way they'll pay attention to the nation is when they realize that nation cares for them. Not in terms of writing a national youth policy. Youth policy, they are paper, so it is paper. But in terms of actually implementing something intelligent, something strategic that benefits their lives, then they know that if the nation demands their devotion, there's a reason. But we can't ignore the youth. We can't leave the youth to their own whims and caprices and then say that, oh, the future belongs to you. The scariest thing about the future belongs to the youth is that if the future belongs to the youth, then we're in trouble. Why am I saying that? It's because we haven't left any credible, substantial legacy for the youth. We haven't. The only thing that we have done for the youth to see and inherit is our greed, is our corruption, is our lies, is everything that is wrong. That is what we have put out there for the youth to see. And folks, give me a minute too. You think when the youth are looking at adults that are corrupt, that are thieves, that loot and get away with it, do you think that in any way that will actually appeal to their senses not to do what they see? No. They say children learn what they live. And that's what I'm saying. The youth is learning and adopting the lifestyles and our stupidity and our mistakes that we brazenly showcase. That is what the youth is seeing. And that is what they are adopting. And if you have exposed to the youth that you can loot and go free, if you have shown to the youth that we call something justice. We have this symbol of justice of a woman who's blindfolded, who has a sword, who says the sword will cut both ways. He doesn't know what he's cutting, it's just implementing the law. We have a country where we are exposing to the youth that the law is not blind though. The law can see. And the law can determine who is rich and who is poor, who is privileged and who is underprivileged. And the law will go in that direction. You let me know. Somebody stole, I'm not saying stealing is good, but somebody stole a mobile phone or something, immediately is sent to court, immediately is sentenced to 7 years imprisonment. Go and research, you find out many cases like this. Somebody goes to the farm, no, we have banshee, cassava, or them 12 years. Yeah, the judge is tough, 12 years. Somebody even has an altercation that was not his fault, there's no deep investigation into that, they are languishing in swamp. Why? Because they don't have lawyers to defend them, to prove that they didn't do what they did. So our justice is not blind. Our justice can see. And the youth who are growing up can see that our justice favors the powerful. Our justice favors those who can afford to pay the best lawyers. That is what our justice favors. And you think growing up like this and being exposed to like this, you tell them, oh, you sacrifice because the nation demands your devotion? Which nation? The nation which, when he makes a mistake and goes wrong, will deal with him with the full force of law? That same law he sees in that same nation, which will favor the rich and the powerful and let them go for free. Massa, when you think about this, then you realize that the more we say the youth are the future of the country, the more we should be worried. Because if the youth are the future of the country, what we have exposed them to now, what we have convinced the youth to believe in now, is that corruption pays. Oh, you're corrupt, you can steal, you can loot, and you get to a good position, you can get away with it. That is what we're showing the youth. So if you're worried about looting that has taken place in Ghana, and you are thinking that there's going to be a generation that was going to come, but they will stop looting, think again. Those that we have brought up to see how you can loot and go free, you're expecting them that when they come, they will loot. Our nation is in trouble, folks. Look, we have dynamic young politicians in parliament. And this is what I like about the young politicians. They blasted us, and I agree. We should step aside, man, and leave the room for those with the energy, the vim, the determination. We should. You can't get stuck. So I agree. So when they were blasting, I was happy with it. The sad thing is this. They were saying Monko, not because they are going to replace us with new energy. Not because they were going to replace us with new dynamism. No. They were going to replace us by doing the things that we did. And Kweyo, folks, I'm very hopeful about this country, but let me say something today. There will be hope for Ghana, the era where the youth is reawakened and where the youth start thinking differently. That will be the time that we can confidently say the future is bright. But we haven't left any substantial. Listen, I always say this, that the responsibility of every generation is to make sure that they leave behind a better legacy than what they inherited. The responsible generation knows this, that they are going to leave a better legacy than what they inherited. Why? Because they want the youth coming up after them to inherit something better than they inherited. That is the end of discussion. So every responsible generation is thinking about, what can I do? What can I leave behind that was better than what I found? So that when the youth come and inherit the place, the legacy that I bestow upon them is something better than what I found. And they too will inherit that superior legacy and also build on that. That is the logic of development too. You inherit something at this level, you build on it, and you take it to this level. The next person who comes and inherits it at this level. They also build on that and take it to this level. And they go. The next person comes and takes it here. They also do, so it goes higher and higher and higher. Every responsible generation builds on a legacy to make it better. But what have we done? Here in Ghana, here in Africa, we inherit a legacy which is like this. We come in, we loot, we destroy because of our greed and selfishness. We demote the legacy from here to there. And then we invite the youth to come and take over. They too come and take over. And because of what they saw us do, the greed, the corruption, the theft, the looting, they also continue and take it this way. And when it's down here, they also invite the next generation to come and think. So instead of progressing and going from 1 to 3 to 4 to 5, that's development, to 6 to 7, it's upward development. Instead of going that way, what are we doing to ourselves and our youth? We are starting from 10, we take it down to 9. They also come and inherit the 9. Next! The next one comes, they won't even take it to 8, they take it to 7 or 6. And so when you watch, as the nation grows, we are not improving by how much we are growing and how much we are maturing. Let me tell you a joke. It looks like a joke, but 1975, that is when I finished my O-level. Way back. My producer here was not born. His mother, Charlie, 1975. Let me tell you how I found my first job. You can't say much more. I want you to listen carefully. Let me tell you how I found my first job. I was working in the streets of Accra. And back in those days, we had a shop called Glamour, Tititi Hono. And on the gate, on the door, I saw a notice. And the notice said, employment available. Apply within. I swear to God. Employment is available. Apply within. I was going on somewhere. I said, oh, really? I've just finished from 5, my O-level. I need something to do. Let me go in and apply. I went in and I applied. I filled the forms. And that day, some supervisor gave me an interview. I was going to be handling stocks, and he went through everything. I don't remember the day. This was over 50 years ago, or 50 crowd. So I just remembered asking me, when can you start? I don't remember when I said. I just said, maybe tomorrow, or whatever. He says, okay, start. And folks, I started working maybe 2 days after my interview. You know why I'm saying this? I want you to understand when I say times have changed. That was in my generational. As we walk the streets of Accra and other places, we can see signs that employment is available. So come in and apply. And there were many cases that we went in to apply and got jobs. That was my time. To your time, check this out. Your time, you will never see that there's a sticker saying employment available, apply within. Or maybe when you're working by a chop bar, no here for £4, and no more backup, then can say come and apply. You know, I just want to teach something. What world I grew up in, when you could get a decent job, to your world, where decent jobs are not available. And trust me, I'm talking to the youth right now. Those of you who have finished university, those of you who are looking for jobs, when you see a job announcement that says a situation is vacant, let's say SNIT or some company, when you see that the situation is vacant, and send your CV or send your resume, I tell people all the time, you should assume that the resume you are sending is among at least 3,000 others. One more difference, no? You see employment available, apply within, you can go and get a job to your time. You won't see employment available, apply within, no. You see situation wanted in the papers. And I'm saying, even then, when you see that and you apply, just assume that if they say send a CV, just imagine that there are at least 3,000 CVs that have been sent. Now, I'm just saying this to alert you of the kind of competition you're up against. I'm saying this to alert you of the kind of world that you live in. This world is not a joke. Look, when they were recruiting for the armed forces, I think there were over 200,000 people that went to apply, and they were looking for just 5,000 positions. I want you to understand the dynamics of the world you live in, not my world. And I want you to understand that your world is built for the strongest who can survive. Unfortunately, The same world has so many other things that distract you, hanging out on social media, reading the gossip, and all the foolish things have been made available to you and distracting you from concentrating on the competition that you have ahead. Charlie, it's not easy. So when I'm talking to the youth, I talk to them with respect, because what I went through was analog. Employment available, come in and apply. What you are going through is not analog. It is digital. It is competitive. And I tell the young ones every day I talk to them, I say, look, in my time, it was okay to be good. They say, oh, Charlie, this student is good, oh. Oh, this one is good, oh. And it was okay to be good. But the youth of Ghana that are watching me now, let me tell you today, it is not enough to be good. In your generation, you can't afford to be good. You have to be outstanding. So that's it all. That is what you're confronting between my time and your time. But sadly, even at your time when the things are more competitive, when the things are more rigorous, sadly, this is the time that you guys are so even more relaxed. I mean, there were times that they would invite me to university campuses to go and speak and talk about CV writing and all of that. And trust me, there was a school that I went to give a talk, free, on how to prepare for CVs. Nobody was even present. So I'm saying that even at the time when you guys should be more rigid and more dynamic, I feel my mom are relaxing. Because you have seen social media and whatever. But even the social media, if you start thinking intelligently, and if you start sitting down and crafting, you'll be surprised that you can come up with an idea or two on how to use the social media to generate income. There's a way. So I'm saying this, folks, that the youth now, you're so relaxed. You don't need to have, you don't seem to have vim. And I'm talking about this because I'm an employer as well. I'm employing people, and sometimes I feel sad that within 3 months I have to tell them, please go. Because they are not serious. They can't attend to what they need to attend to with proactive thinking. Who knows what you are watching? Thanks to the same social media, there are millions of things that are available to you and grow your mind, but that's what you're glued to. Oh yeah, it's true. If you take the topic I'm talking about now, and you can compare it to maybe a topic on some divorce of a celebrity, celebrity being a kontoka omajai, and all the nonsense wahala that comes of it, that will get about 3 million views. And what I'm doing, if I'm lucky, I can maybe I'll make 100. And sadly for the youth of Ghana, we have all been sucked into politics, partisan politics. And that's very, very sad. So somebody belongs to a political party because they are hoping that the party will win, and if that party comes to power, they can submit their names and get employment through that. All parties. So the MPP will come into power and put their foot soldiers and their loyalty people, get their wherever, and trust them onto government institutions, airport, SNIT, what do you call it, civil aviation, immigration, soldier. They don't have any qualification whatsoever. And they know they don't have the qualification. That's why they are foot soldiers, because that is what will reward them. The same thing with the MDC. They also have foot soldiers who are tramping up and down, doing all that they can to make sure NDC wins, with the hope that when NDC wins, they also have their CVs and resumes as foot soldiers be sent to organizations. I'm for airport near the Abba, for immigration, whatever. And so gradually, we are building a system that is not based on meritocracy. We are building a system that is based on patronage. In the country, you see what I said at the beginning, has gone from this to that, to this, to that. And the downward trend continues. And I'm thinking that there needs to be a dynamic youth. Where to come from, I don't know. And what will inspire them, I don't know. But you'll be very surprised where to come from. To come and say that, this is not working. I remember when Lee Kuan Yew, the president of Singapore, visited Ghana in 1964. He went and he wrote the book. It is called The Memoirs from Third World to First World. He wrote a book. Find it and read it. When he was praising Ghana, 1964, as to how advanced we were with human capital, and say we're beating Singapore hands down. Go and check the statistics today. In Singapore, what happened was that they started here, and the legacy of the next generation took it here, there, and they were going up till they came to pass Ghana, even though we were ahead of them. And in Ghana, what has happened? We started there, we went here, we went there, and we were declining. Simple and short, the story between Singapore and Ghana, when one was progressing with discipline, with a NSSM policy, NSSM policy that makes sense, crafted by intelligent people who sat down to craft an intelligent policy, and they were ruling with policy and meritocracy and everything. We in Ghana, what were we doing? We were ruling with family and friends. So one went up, one went down. So youth of Ghana, I'm here today to tell you that I'm the same person that always says Ghana will rise again. But I'm qualifying it this time and saying that Ghana will rise again if we get a dynamic, dedicated youth that will change their thinking and change their focus. And realize that the way to getting a job is not by becoming a foot soldier. The way to getting a job is by intelligence and focus. Let me end here. This discussion will continue at some point because I'm going to expand nation building beyond the politics. We need the youth, we need the health, we need so many other things to build this nation. So stick around. Ghana will rise again. Unfortunately, not in my lifetime, but Ghana will rise again. Catch up next time.